What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Welcome into episode 34, everybody. I am your host, SleezBall. The NFL kickoff is here today. Ravens and Chiefs tonight. I told you guys I'm going to try and get all my content out before, so this video right here, this episode will be my wide receiver stardom sit-ems. My next video after this I will also get out today will be my tight end stardom sit-ems, and you can check all my rankings and all my sit-ems, my videos before if you guys want to check that out as well. I will be giving you a green bar, yellow bar, a red bar. I will be ranking the secondaries they're going up against in the pass defense and how it's going to work. And I'm going to give you 3 wide receivers per each team as well. And before we dive into it, guys, make sure you smash that like and subscribe. All the support's appreciated. Turn that bell on so you know when I'm live. And I'll be live tonight, 2 hours before the kickoff, going over starts, sits, DFS plays, talking all fantasy football. Hope to catch you guys in there, and let's dive into it. So here is my board, guys. The top black bar, or the top black box you're going to see up there is going to be the away team. The bottom is going to be the home team. That's where the versus leads down to it if you have any questions. And let's get it started here. And I will be using PFF. Shout out to Pro Football Focus. I'll be using their defensive ranks for how to look at the wide receivers and stuff here we're going to look at. And let's start off with tonight's game. The Ravens are headed to the Kansas City Chiefs. And this is going to be a bloodbath game. Both these defenses rank in the top 5. It's going to be one of those slow starting games for the beginning. You know, the first half's going to be sluggish. They come out. I'm going to put Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, and Nelson Aguilar all on my bench today. Even this is all based on 12-man league as well. So if you have any other depth piece, I would look for it here. I think you're going to see more of a Mark Andrews, Derrick Henry, and a lot more of Isaiah Likely than you are Zay Flowers. The Rashad Bateman hype is there. Nelson Aguilar, you're obviously not going to start unless injuries happen. And I just don't like any of the Ravens wide receivers versus this Chiefs defense. Heading to the Kansas City Chiefs side, I cannot believe that Rashee Rice is even playing after all the stuff that happened in the offseason. But he's out there. I'm going to put him as a start tonight. For Xavier Worthy, I think he's flexible because you have Hollywood Brown with the shoulder injury. He's out tonight, so he's in red. Xavier Worthy could get a bomb. I like him for a best ball play as well to get a deep bomb. Going to be one of those sketch starts as a rookie in game 1, though. I think it's going to go through Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce tonight because that's where the chemistry is, and they know that he's going to be able to get open across the middle with Xavier Worthy able to take off the top. So I don't like – I'm going to say Xavier Worthy is flexible this week, but it's kind of sketch. I'm in the middle with it. Heading down to Brazil where the teams are not supposed to wear green. You got the Packers versus the Eagles. And man, this could be a shootout game. And it's going to be hard all year to rank the Green Bay Packers wide receiver room because there's so many of them. And I don't even have Dontavian Wicks up there. I could put him up there depending on how the week goes. He is one of my breakout candidates. But if I'm looking for just pure volume and a pure start that I think is a great base floor, it's going to be Jaden Reed for them. I know Christian Watson can hit a bomb. I know Romeo Dobbs is a red zone threat as well. And this could be an all-attack game here. Both these offenses on both sides of the ball are so ridiculously good. Now you have the Eagles coming out with A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith. They add Jahan Dotson. They bring in Kellen Moore, a top 5 paced offense. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs. This is such a star-studded game. But for the Packers, I am going to say that you could flex Romeo Dobbs or Christian Watson if it's like, 12-plus man, double flex, deeper league. I'm fine with that. But I think Jaden Reed is firmly the safe start for the Packers side. And A.J. Brown, every time this man is on the field, you're starting him. Devonta Smith, every time he's in your lineup, you're starting him. This offense is going to be flying around. I cannot wait to wake up and be like, we got football on Friday, baby, in Brazil. Getting into the Sunday slate here, we are going to have the Steelers at the Falcons. Now, the Falcons defense did get a lot better. They added Matthew Judon. They added Justin Simmons as safety. That's going to be a lot better than they're ranked. I am still going to say that George Pickens, just purely based on volume, because volume is king, that he's going to be their only target out there to go along with Freiermuth. He's a must start this week. You can sit Van Jefferson and Calvin Austin, obviously, unless you're in a super 32-man league or something like that. Heading to the Falcons side, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense ranks 8th. So they're very good defense. Drake London is still going to feast. I'm even willing to say if you're in like a 14-man plus that Darnell Mooney because Kirk Cousins being here, it just elevates this entire offense, right? You're going to get a Kyle Pitts show. Looked like he had a hammy yesterday. He's fine. You're going to get a Drake London 28% target share like he's always gotten, but now he's going to get better targets from it. And this could be just a smash play game here for Drake coming off the hammy news with Kyle Pitts, but I don't think it's really going to affect him that much. But I still think every time you have Drake London with the value you spend on him, you're starting him every single week. Heading down to Buffalo, the offense we can all not wait to see. Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison are headed to Buffalo against Josh Allen. And you could say Dalton Kincaid, I guess, is going to be the wide receiver one. So it's going to be very tough to pick there. Marvin Harrison Jr. in this game. Now, why I have all the Cardinals here as decently startable, depending how deep your league is purely because the Cardinals defense is dead last, guys. They're going to have to score 30 points a game probably to win, 20, 28 around that average on the season. And you got to like the production you're going to see. So this is a tough matchup. The Bills defense does rank 9th. West teams struggle heading east. We know that, especially in morning games. But you're going to get Kyler Murray finally healthy 100%. Last year, he came back week 10 off a torn ACL. Still averaged 20 points a game with no Marvin Harrison. So now this offense is going to be moving. I even like Michael Wilson and Greg Dortch as deep plays here. Because if Marvin becomes the target or Trey becomes the target that they key in on, these guys are going to be open, man. They're actually very, very good receivers, and people are underestimating them big time. Heading to the Buffalo side, this one's super hard as well. So, like I've said in previous videos, you start every single player versus the Cardinals defense. You start everyone versus the Rams defense. I'll get to the Rams later. And it's so hard to predict right now how the Buffalo Bills wide receiver room is going to play out. I've been saying all year that I think Curtis Samuel is going to lead this wide receiver room in points. He had turf toe, made me a little nervous. You have Keon Coleman and Khalil Shakir. These guys are both flexible, even in 12-man leagues. So not deep here. You don't got to go like 14-man league here. I'm fine flexing them in a 12-man. I just feel like Curtis Samuel, with his connection with Joe Brady from back in the Panthers day, is why they picked him up in free agency. And he will see most of the work in the middle of the field and probably the most targets in this game. And I think Curtis Samuel is a very, very good flex start this week, especially against a very, very bad Cardinals defense. The Caleb Williams premiere is here. The Tennessee Titans versus Chicago Bears this week. Now, this is another situation where it's going to be a very tough game. But for the Tennessee Titans, I'm going to say that Calvin Ridley is startable. The Bears defense ranks 11th. Why do I have Calvin Ridley only this week over D-Hop? It's firmly because D-Hop is coming off that injury. He is older, and we know it's going to be a little sluggish start probably for an older guy week 1. I'm going to like DeAndre Hopkins once he picks up his feet, gets back into full game shape here. But I'm going to say this is going to be a Calvin Ridley shine game here, and Calvin Ridley is the startable wide receiver I want for Tennessee this week over DeAndre Hopkins, purely based off injury. Now, Tyler Boyd, if you're looking at DFS for a deep dart throw, you're trying to make a cheap lineup, he may be an okay play, but I don't like him as a startable player in redraft leagues. On the Bears side, this is a nightmare to choose here, right? So the Tennessee Titans secondary is not as bad as people think. They have 2 corners that rank in the top 25, but their defense ranks 29th. Up front, they're not as good. So Caleb Williams will have tons of time. The Bears offensive line ranks 11th. They're also very strong up front. Caleb Williams will have a ton of time. I do think Keenan Allen, coming off his little gained weight and little injury, he will be the security blanket. I'm not worried about Keenan Allen. I like DJ Moore as a start here as well, because if you paid the value to draft him, you're going to start him as well here too. And Rome Odunze is that guy in a 12-man league that's kind of like a boomer bust play to me right now. And I got to see how it plays out first. I'm more on the red side with Rome Odunze, but I'm going to leave it yellow because the matchup could, leave him wide open, right? There's so many weapons that he could find his way in the end zone in his first game. But he's still a very, very scary start for me this week. The Patriots are headed to Cincinnati. And man, this is going to be really, really tough to pick the Patriots room every single week. But I am super high on DeMario Douglas, and here's why. So Pop Douglas, they're going to be playing behind 90% of their games. I know Jacoby Brissett's the quarterback right now, which is rough. KJ Osborne is the vet. I don't like starting KJ Osborne at all in redraft ever. I don't feel comfortable doing it unless you're in like a 32-man league deep. Jalen Polk, the rookie, should be a decent, I'm going to say, borderline flex play in 12-man leagues here. just because we don't know how it's going to look right away when they come out. But the volume should be here for all these receivers. Hunter Henry may be the focal point. I'll get to that in my tight end video next. He's going to be healthy out there week 1. Looks like he's not missing with injury. But I firmly believe that DeMario Douglas could see 10 targets in this game because they're going to fall behind so quick here. And it's just going to be pass. So on the Bengals side, Jamar Chase, I'm banking this off of he's out there playing, right? So right now he practiced yesterday. We don't know if he's going to be out there yet. So if he's not out there, you can bump up T. Higgins up your roster all the way. The Patriots defense is so leaky versus the pass. They are going to get crushed. This is a smash Joe Burrow, smash Jamar Chase, smash T. Higgins. Every single person against the Patriots you want to start in the wide receiver core. Jermaine Burton, I haven't put in yellow here because I don't know if Jamar Chase is firmly going to be out there. Or it could be Yoshabas, Yoshi, whatever. You want to throw him out there as well. I don't feel comfortable flexing them. But, I mean, if Jamar Chase is out, T. Higgins is the only guy I really feel safe starting. But this is a possibility of a deeper league here for Jermaine Burton, 14, 16 mans, which I like to play him more than 12 now because it's more competitive. But I'm going to leave Jamar Chase green, T. Higgins green, Jermaine Burton yellow because I think Jamar Chase now is going to be out there after the practice day. The game that I keep saying in every video that I cannot wait to see is the second-year battle. C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson. Texans are headed to the Colts at the Dome. You're going to have so many weapons on the field here for the Texans. Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs. This is the only week that I'm going to do this, guys. This is a firmly smash absolute matchup here for CJ Stroud, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs. Now, the target share is probably going to be 25%, 30%, 25%. You never know how it's going to hit, but the Colts secondary is one of the league's worst, and up front, they're nasty. So you're going to have a battle in the trenches here of a Colts offensive line that's top 3, big boys up front, big boys in the trenches. And this is not going to be a heavy Joe Mixon run game. This is not going to be, it might be a heavy Jonathan Taylor game here, but the Texans front is so good up front. I think this is all a smash start here for all the Texans wide receivers. And they're all flexible plays here this week. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it is. Michael Pittman, every time this guy is out there, he is a must start. He's a target monster machine. And the Texans defense, again, is very strong up front, and they're not strong in the secondary as much as they are up front. And Michael Pittman is going to see 10-plus targets in this game. Adonai Mitchell, man, did this guy look good. I don't know if I'm willing to put him as startable yet, but he is on the fringe of a 12, 14-man flex start or, super flex. If you have 3 flex spots, I'm okay popping Adonai Mitchell in there because you're going to have to score to keep up with the Texans. This offense is going to be flying around every single game. They're probably going to average 30 points on the season, and you're going to need to score to keep up. And Adonai Mitchell in this game could be a, sneaky DFS play, sneaky kind of late double flex, triple flex play, like I said. Josh Downs, we don't know about the injury. I can't put him out there yet. Even if they say he's going to play this week, not practicing the whole time, being hurt the whole camp and everything, I don't like Josh Downs this week at all. The Vegas predicted shootout game, Jacksonville Jaguars are headed to the Miami Dolphins, the highest point total on the week, so points are going to be flying. This is probably going to be a norm with the Dolphins offense all year. Now, in this game, it's going to be kind of interesting here. You're going to tell me, you're going to be like, why? So I have Christian Kirk on a sit-em this week. BTJ, I'm going to put in the yellow as a flexible player, even in 12-man leagues, because I believe he's going to be the red zone threat that they have with a 6'4" size. Gabe Davis, if he's on your roster, man, maybe a best ball shot here, maybe a DFS for his cheap price, but I never like starting Gabe Davis in redraft ever. This guy can disappear with so many zeros last year. And why I have Christian Kirk on a sit-em is you have Ramsey, 2 top 10 corners in Miami, and where does Miami struggle the most? They struggle against the tight end and the running back out the backfield. I don't think this is going to be a Christian Kirk game, especially coming off the hamstring. Yeah, he's back and healthy, but that still worries me. And I think, like I said, it's a high-scoring shootout game, but I don't think it's going to run through the wide receivers like you think as much for, the Jags. They could get a bomb here and there, but I don't trust it. Dolphins side, Tyreek Hill, nothing to talk about here. Jalen Waddle now. The Jags secondary ranks 29th, guys. They're going to get torched all year long. I got the hiccups. They got worse than last year in the secondary. So you're starting every single starting wide receiver you have against the Jacksonville Jaguars secondary. It is terrible. OBJ on the pup. I don't like Malik Washington for a start in redraft, but if you're playing DFS, I have no problem with Malik Washington as a dart throw to catch a bomb. The man is a speedster. And going back to Christian Kirk, I got to put him on a sit-em. I was trying to think of a way around it, but I don't like it this week. One of the uglier division rival games of the week is here. The Carolina Panthers headed to the New Orleans Saints at the Superdome. Now, Dave Canales is here for this offense, guys. So this is going to be a different kind of look here for me for the Panthers. So the Saints defense ranks 8th. They're great up front. They do have Marshawn Lattimore. He may, travel around. I don't think he's going to travel around as much as people think and follow Deontay Johnson. He's getting older. But with Dave Canales here and the way this offense worked, if you've watched anything with him with Tampa Bay or Seattle Seahawks before, the offenses are phenomenal. And Deontay Johnson is going to get fed. He said the offense is going to run through him. So I'm going to put him as a startable week 1. And Xavier Legette and Adam Thielen, I'm going to say are 12, 14-man deep flex options for you. Not super happy to start him, but they could find the end zone. And his offense is going to look immaculate. This is going to be an improved year for Bryce Young, and I can't wait to see how the Panthers look. But I think this is going to be one of those ugly division games. And I'm not even – I guess putting them in yellow, I'm not really comfortable even starting Adam Thielen and Legette, but they're right on that fringe for me. Heading to the Saints side, Chris Olave. This is a smash start for him. The Carolina Panthers defense ranks 27th. But the thing to worry about here is the New Orleans Saints offensive line ranks 32. They're very bad. So it may be quick passes. You're looking at Alvin Kamara here. Maybe quick passes, develop screens or something for Chris Olave here, work him into the formation somehow. But I think Olave has a big blow-up game here. But it also does depend on if J.C. Horn is going to shadow him everywhere. J.C. Horn is just always hampered by injuries. He is a very, very good corner. He's very young. He will shadow, probably 75% of the field. And they may have to manufacture touches for Olave, but he's a smash start this week for me. The Vikings are headed to the New York Giants. And man, this is going to be a feast game for Justin Jefferson. I'm even going to say Jordan Addison is flexible. Jalen Naylor, not a play for me. Now, the New York Giants defensive front is nasty, guys. Probably the best 2 defensive ends in football. Their up front is probably the best up front to get after the quarterback. Sam Darnold is going to be in a lot of trouble here in this game. But where do the Giants' weakness at? Their linebackers are also ranked in the top 5. So their front 7 is very, very good in the New York Giants. Their secondary is bad, folks. So if Sam Darnold can get time away from this front 7, putting pressure on him, Justin Jefferson is going to absolutely annihilate this defense. I mean, even with Jordan Addison, I don't really feel comfortable with Jordan Addison and bad matchups, but this is a plus secondary matchup for him, and I'm saying he's flexible this week. Jalen Naylor, no go. Heading to the New York Giants side, Malik Neighbors. This is the game. They are going to light this guy up in his NFL debut with a amazing matchup versus the Vikings secondary, which is very bad. The Vikings defense all around ranks 22nd, and this is going to be a smash play for him here. Probably like 150 and 2 TDs if Danny Dimes can get the ball to him. That's all it comes down to with him is Danny Dimes being able to throw a good pass that he can catch because this man is electric. Now, one of my sleeper plays of the week that I like for DFS that I'm even willing to throw in like a couple of my 14-man flex leagues here is Wan'Dale Robinson. This man is a target monster out of the slot. If you watched camp, they said that he was getting targeted more than Malik Neighbors at some points in practices, and he is very hard to cover. Darius Slayton, I don't like as a start this week. He could be another DFS play as well because he likes to hit deep bombs. But if we're talking redraft here, I don't like anything about Darius Slayton this week. The division rivalry of the Raiders versus the Chargers. This is a absolute smash Devontae Adams game. He's off the injury list. You even have Jacoby Myers coming to put his startable and Trey Tucker. We'll get to him in a minute. Devontae Adams here gets the Chargers defense ranks 24th. They're very bad versus the pass. Asante Samuel Jr. is out there. Not as typical prototype cornerback one that you want to guard big body Devontae Adams. With Gardner Minshew at quarterback, these guys are going to get absolutely peppered. You're going to think that Antonio Pierce is going to try and run the ball here, and he wants to establish the run. That's definitely a true thing. But where do the Chargers, where's their strength at? Oh, it's up front, boys. In the secondary and the linebacker, they're one of the worst. I do think Zamir is going to have a good game here, but I think this is going to be a Devontae Jacoby, Brock Bowers. I'll get to him at tight end video here. And I absolutely love these two plays. I'm even willing to start Jacoby Myers firmly in a 12-man league this week. Heading to the Chargers side, Ladd McConkey. I cannot wait to see this guy play. I'm even going to put Joshua Palmer in green here. Now, both these wide receivers, you get Ladd McConkey out of the slot. If you remember Keenan Allen, anything, and Justin Herbert in the slot, this man's going to feast. I'm probably going to have a start him on him every single week just for volume, because people think that Harbaugh being the coach now, the Chargers are going to try and ground and pound the run. They bring in that 300-pound fullback. But in order to do that, guys, in order to control the clock like that down the stretch of the game, you have to have the lead. And the Chargers, I don't see in a lead that much this season, maybe 7-8 wins. I'm not that high on the Chargers this year. But when Ladd McConkey and Josh Palmer, the volume they are going to see, I think they're going to be flexible starters weekly. And Ladd McConkey, I'm even willing to put in a wide receiver too, because I was so high on him coming out. And I'm not stopping now, baby. And Quentin Johnson. One of the more intriguing matchups pass-wise that I want to talk about here is the Denver Broncos versus Seattle Seahawks, and why I pounded the table to get Courtland Sutton in every draft you have this year. Why do I like Courtland Sutton so much? I don't care what defense they're going up against. I don't care if they're playing the number one corners. I don't care if they're playing the Jets. I don't care if, he's going to get shadowed by Sauce Gardner. Courtland Sutton is going to see so much volume this year that it's bananas, guys. The wide receivers with him are Josh Reynolds and Marvin Mims. Marvin Mims more of a kick return, punt return specialist, so we can see a little breakout from this year maybe. But the Broncos are going to be playing from behind in 90% of their games. They may win 4 games this year. And that is volume is king. Courtland Sutton got his little contract reworked. He's the veteran. He's the leadership. He is the whole wide receiver group here. And this is why I like Courtland Sutton almost every week, because he's just going to see so many targets, so much work. Volume is king in fantasy football, and Courtland Sutton is a smash start for me weekly just based off volume. Heading to the Seattle Seahawks side, my God, Ben Grubb coming in as the offensive coordinator. This is going to be electric, guys. And DK Metcalf right now, I know Patrick Surtain is on the Denver side. It's not going to matter. This guy is playing the Cooper Kupp role now. They're going to move him all over the formation. Inline, X, Y, Z. In the backfield even. DK Metcalf is a smash start for me this year. I'm so high on this guy. You start this guy every single week. 100%. Jay Season, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. I'm even willing to start him this week in 12-man leagues, because I firmly believe this offense is just going to look lights out. Tyler Lockett, I think, is going to lose the job to Jackson Smith and Jigba, if not already, because Tyler Lockett was hurt through camp here. He could be like a nice dart throw or something late here, or like DFS style, but I don't feel comfortable starting Tyler Lockett this week. Here we go, baby. This is the call that is going to get a lot of comments and a lot of shit thrown my way like it did on Twitter when I posted it. But I like to take one call a week that is a top 10 wide receiver and pick him to be a sit-em to go under projection. So obviously you're not going to sit him because you drafted him in the top 3 picks of your draft. But I'm telling you right now, this is my bold call of the week. The Cowboys are headed to the Cleveland Browns. CeeDee Lamb. This is the game right here where I do not like CeeDee Lamb coming off a holdout, maybe on a pitch count, gets Denzel Ward at corner. The Cowboys defense is number 1. The Cowboys offensive line took a big hit in the offseason. They're going to struggle. They're going to get so much pressure against them in this game. It's going to be a very, very, very ugly game for the Dallas Cowboys. I do not like him at all to start this week. And I know I'm going to get a lot of shit yelled at me for it, but I'm okay with that. And I'm telling you right now, the CeeDee Lamb is not going to hit his projection. I think he's going to get about, maybe if you're playing 1 point PPR, probably 11, 12 points in this game. He would need to find the end zone to get that. I don't see that happening in week 1 off the holdout. And it's just one of my crazy calls, guys. He's obviously a very hard guy to sit, but you can give me all the backlash you want. I'll be here next week to remind you that CeeDee Lamb is not going to smash this week. For the Browns side, Amari Cooper, this is a must-start game. You have Deron Bland out. You do have Trayvon Diggs back for the Cowboys, but he is such a go-get-it kind of cornerback. Like, he's either going to go for the pick or he's going to give up the touchdown. And I like the volume you're going to see here with Amari Cooper. Jerry Jeudy, I thought about putting in yellow, but I want to see it first game. I don't like to ride the hype in the offseason of everybody thinks Jerry Jeudy's going to break out. I've seen enough Jerry Jeudy that I haven't seen him break out yet, so I'm going to keep him in red. Temper your expectation, guys. Maybe if you play in like a 16-man league, I'm okay starting Jerry Jeudy or something like that. But I want to see it first. Elijah Moore, He is not even on my list for redraft at all, ever as a starter, unless injury happens. And man, I just want to remind it, CD Lamb's going to have a bad game this week. Jaden Daniels and the Commanders are headed to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And my goodness, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers secondary and the Washington Commanders secondary are both very bad, guys. And now that you have just Scary Terry there, and his receivers are Olamide Zaccheaus and Noah Brown, or you could throw Luke McCaffrey in there. I might change it up next week, but this looks like the starting roster for now. Terry McLaurin, guys, is going to be a must start every single week. He's going to see a 30 plus, probably 33% target share on the year. He is all they have out there. You could say Zach Ertz or Ben Sinnott, however they line it up. This is going to be the Scary Terry show every single week. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense is bad. Jaden Daniels is going to light this man on fire every single week. And I try to tell you guys that him and George Pickens, man, if Ayuk doesn't go there, you must draft these wide receivers, because there's no one else in the core. I mean, this is just an unbelievable situation for Terry, and you better go trade for this guy right now if you're watching this video. I promise you this man is going to light it up this year. On the Bucs side, the Commander secondary is the worst. It is the worst. They gave the most points, the most everything last year. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin are absolute smash plays this week. The Commanders defense is worse than college teams, guys. No, it's probably not that bad. I'm joking, but it's very bad. You start every single player against the Commanders all the time, and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are also two of my favorite DFS plays this week. Jalen McMillan, we can hold him off. He probably needs an injury. He could be a dart throw DFS because the defense is so bad as well, but I don't like starting him in redraft. The Matthew Stafford revenge game is here as the LA Rams head to the Detroit Lions, and you're going to start these two guys every single time they're out there healthy, guys. The Los Angeles Rams defense is ranked 31st, just like the Arizona Cardinals I talked about earlier. They're going to have to score so many points to keep up. And now that you're at the Detroit Lions, whose offense is immaculate, and this is going to be a high-scoring game. Matt Stafford is one of my favorite starts. Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp. And I put Cooper Kupp over Puka Nacua because he's better than Puka Nacua. Last year, Puka Nacua played the Cooper Kupp role. Cooper Kupp was playing hampered and still out-targeted him when they were on the field together. Now Cooper Kupp is 100%. This offense is going to run through him. I've been telling you guys all year that you're in drafts to draft Cooper Kupp at value instead of Puka Nacua, and you're going to find out why here. And they're both smash starts this week, 100%. And heading to the Lions side, dude, the Rams defense is so bad, guys. It's just as bad as the Cardinals. They're going to get thrashed every single week. You start every single player against LA Rams. Amon-Ra, you even spend up in DFS to get Amon-Ra because he is going to absolutely torch this team. Jameson Williams, who I'd never put on a start. I'm even willing to say start, possibly in a deep 12-man, plus flex league here. Again, because the Rams defense is so bad that it's a smash start here. And you got to start every single player. I'm going to repeat it like as many times as I can. You start everyone versus the Rams all year long. The Monday Night Football bloodbath, man. The Jets versus the 49ers. Both defenses rank in the top 5. Star-studded power everywhere. Garrett Wilson, if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, guys, is going to be a top 5 wide receiver. This all depends on a 40-year-old man quarterback's Achilles. I understand that. He says he looks 100% healthy right now. And every time Garrett Wilson's out there, I'm starting him no matter what the matchup is. Even going up against Tre'Davious Ward, the third-ranked corner, he might shadow him a little bit here and there. But you got to start Garrett Wilson every single time. Mike Williams, never. I don't ever feel comfortable starting this guy. He is, every time he steps off the bus, he can bust a pinky toe, and this guy is hurt. I don't feel comfortable starting him. Malachi Corley, handpicked by Aaron Rodgers in the draft. I want to see what he's made of first. He interests me a lot because if Mike Williams gets hurt, like I think he will, Malachi Corley is an interesting stash play, guys. Heading to the Niners side, Jesus, they're going up against Sauce and DJ Reed. But this is a game that is going to be a Debo feasted game here. And let me explain why. So Brandon Ayuk is one of my sit-ems this week, guys. He's a sit-em. Think about that. It's a crazy call coming here for Brandon Ayuk. Jawan Jennings is going to be a sit-em as well. Why I'm so high on Debo this week. Brandon Ayuk off a holdout. CMC with a little quote-unquote calf injury. I don't think it's going to limit CMC at all. But you're going to have to manufacture touches in the middle because you have Reed and Sauce on the outside, and they are so nasty at man-to-man coverage that Kittle is going to feast in this game in the middle as well, but they're going to manufacture more touches for Debo this game because Ayuk hasn't been there. CMC maybe sees a little less work, like 3 less touches or something. Don't get crazy like I'm saying, see less work. It's CMC, he can do whatever he wants. But I firmly believe this is going to be a smash Debo start game this week. That is it for episode 34, everybody. That was my wide receiver, stardom, sit-em, every single matchup versus defense rank, stuff like that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions, comments, anything, drop them in the comments. It does not have to be related to this video. Make sure you turn that bell on so you don't miss my live today. I will be live helping with rosters before every single game for 2 hours. Smash that like button, and I'm going to get my tight end video out next for you guys so you have all my content before the Thursday kickoff so it's not late like last year. That's one of the promises I've made, and I'll catch you guys in the next video, man. SleezBall out.